Hey there guys, how's it going? Dexter here, and today's lesson is the old pull the bass drum back because it's disappearing. We've all been there, haven't we? So, anyway, normally I'm against the wall, so that doesn't happen, but now the bass drum's just floating away, and it's like, come back bass drum, come back to me. Anyway, right, so anyway, Dexter here with a lesson on the emergency bounce groove. So this is a groove that I like to teach people just to give them something to play if they're ever in a kind of swing or bouncy song environment which catches people out, because you may have like, hey, I've got loads of grooves at this kind of tempo and this kind of speed, and I've got loads of fills where I'm like apple, pepperoni, apple pie, that kind of thing, and you feel like a confident drummer, but you're only a confident drummer in that one environment. So there's loads of songs out there in most styles of music that have this kind of triplet kind of feel to it. So 1, a 2, a 3. It's not just blues stuff, you have it in rock and metal and everything. So 1, a 2, a 3, a 4. It's got this bouncy, what we call swing time. And that tends to catch people out because none of their normal grooves or fills work. So this is a groove I teach people just to kind of give them something they can play which sounds good within that kind of environment, and especially when it's really quick. So it's if you're doing a standard shuffle, which is 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, you'll be here. But there's some songs that are really bouncy where that's just too fast for the right hand. So this is a kind of subtracted groove. I've stripped everything out of it just to give you something bouncy to play in those environments. And because there's not much on the hi-hat, you can get it fast. So just to give you something to play there. So let me break down what's going on. I'm not going to go too much into what triplets are and what swing is. I'm just going to give you guys a groove that you can play. You can kind of listen to the rhythm I'm doing and try and practice it till you start to feel comfortable. And that's just going to kind of get you through the door of playing these kind of grooves and this kind of environment. So it's going to be a bass drum and a hi-hat together, followed by a snare drum and hi-hat together, followed by another bass drum and a hi-hat together. Now you'll look at the notation and go, there's a 3, there's a little squiggly thing, what on earth is that? Don't worry about that. All we're going to do is ignore all that stuff for now. We're going to play that one bass drum which doesn't have a hi-hat with it. So just bass drum on its own. So up to there, bass and hat, snare and hat, bass and hat, bass on its own. And then to finish off, another snare and a hi-hat together. So on the face of it, doesn't sound that cool, but with the rhythm, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can see that last bass drum on its own is very close to that next snare drum and hi-hat at the same time. So bass and then hi-hat and snare. So think of it as a groove where you're going up to 3 beats, 2, 3, 4. You can think of it like that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's that that we're trying to get in there, which is going to make this a lot more interesting. So, and it gives you that swing. Now, if you don't play it with the right rhythm, you'll have this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Exact same notes, not bouncy. But the reason we've got that 3 and that funny gap is because there's a bit of a gap before that next bass drum comes in. 1, 2, 3, gap, a 4. A 4. 1, 2, 3, a 4. So that's what I want you to do. So this is the thing. It's not so much about the notes, it's the rhythm. And if you're not sure how the rhythm goes, again, just listening to me here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and try and match those notes and follow that rhythm if you can. So that's the start of this. So playing with that, that's going to give you a groove that's going to help, especially at faster tempos. So say a normal shuffle, if you learn those grooves, they're not going to fit. Oh, this song's really fast. Take the hi-hats out. Ooh. Now you can take it faster. So that's where this is going to happen. So anyway, if you're more interested in this and you want to know what these theories, the theory behind these triplets and stuff like that is, I do have a course called the Shuffle Grooves course, which goes really in depth into exactly what these triplets are, so you can take these grooves, really manipulate them, tear them apart, and just feel like a triplet master. So 'cause these songs happen, and you'll just feel like, oh, why is my drumming not as good on this song? And it's like, it must be the song. It's the song's fault. It's a bad song. And it's like, no, it's not a bad song. You're not comfortable in that environment. So it just helps. You don't want any kind of weaknesses. So if you're interested in that, if you're already signed up as a channel member, you've got access to that straight away. And again, you'll be able to get into a little bit more of what these triplets are. So anyway, I'm going to do a short solo now, just demonstrating this groove with a couple of fills and show you what this kind of vibe, this feel will sound like. So here we go. there you have it, guys. Have some fun with that. Check out the Shuffle Grooves course if you're interested. And also, if you want to get more into this kind of bass drum on its own in between the hi-hats, I've got the Bass Drum Bootcamp, which goes really in depth into how to kind of speed up your bass drum so you can play a lot more of these kind of in-between advanced bass drum things. And again, that's all part of the membership stuff, which I'll let you guys check out if you're interested. If not, I'll see you for the next lesson.